What's going on, everybody? Today on the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast, we are talking about time and time equaling your life and how you can maximize time to be more effective and be more efficient in your life. The Frame of Mind Inc. podcast starts right now. Get your mind right. Get your mind right.
It's a frame of mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. This is your boy Simbawi Nibaye Jr., aka TK, along with my man Omar Wales. We call him O. Say what's up to the peeps.
What's going on, good people?
It is another lovely Wednesday, and all I can say is it's been a great week so far. I mean, every week's a great week, but I'm just today. It's been a great week. It's all I can say. And y'all know how we do. We jump right in and don't waste any time. But before we do, we are going to get our affirmations in and out the way like we normally do. So if you've got your pad, paper, or you got to memorize, or you want to say them along with us, get ready. It is Affirmation Wednesday time. Or for those of you who are getting the replay of this on a different day, different time, morning, afternoon, evening, it's affirmation, whatever that day as well. There's no particular day, just we do it on Wednesdays. That's all it is. Are you ready? Let's do it. Today will be a good day. Today will be a great day. Today will be an awesome day. Today will be an amazing day. Today will be a phenomenal day. Today will be stress-free. Today will be a stress-less day. Today, I will overcome all barriers that want to block my progress. Today, all circumstances, issues, and situations will work in my favor. Today, all things will line up for my good. Today, I'll become better than who and what I was yesterday. I am a go-getter. I am victorious. I am triumphant. I am an overcomer. I never lose. I either win or I learn. I take authority over this day. I will dominate this day. I will conquer this day. And everything I have spoken into this day will happen as I have affirmed, because I am more than a conqueror. Let's get it popping. So today we're talking about time equals life. Time equals life. Again, time equals life. So if you have your notebook, your pad, pen, and paper, take notes. Get ready, because this is going to be a good one, as they all are. But, get ready for this one. Time equals life. And if you've seen the flyer we had out, we have life as an acronym. It's LIFE, L period, I period, F period, E period. We'll talk about that later. But those of you who know me or have been on my social media page, you might have seen me put that out there before. And those of you who haven't, you'll know what that is by the end of the podcast. All right. Let's look at time, the definition of time. All right. And there's a lot of definitions out there for time. I kind of took a few that kind of go along with what we're talking about today as far as time is concerned. And so time is the indefinite continued progress of existence and events in the past, present, and future, all looked at as a whole. So, like, for instance, traveling through space and time. So, looking at just some sub definitions, the progress of time as affecting people and things. Time, or an amount of time, as reckoned by a conventional standard. The personification of time, typically as an old man with a synth or a hourglass. I think an hourglass is a very good, significant object about time, because an hourglass, in all honesty, is probably one of the first things that time is measured by, with the exception of the fact where the sun was throughout the day, whether it was coming up, whether it was high noon or it was coming down. You kind of told time by where the sun was.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hourglass came along and it kind of told you what time of day it was, how many minutes went by in that hour, all that kind of stuff. Then you have definition number 2 we're going to look at, which is a point of time as measured in hours and minutes past midnight or noon. So a moment or a definite portion of time allotted, used, or suitable for a purpose, such as a scheduled time to depart, or the time is 9:30. A couple of sub definitions for this: the favorable or appropriate time to do something, the right moment. It was time to go. That's, like I said, it was time to go, an appointed time. Or an indefinite period, meaning, you were traveling always to store one's feelings for a time. I don't really like that example, but that's what it says. That's what I'm using. But anyway, an indefinite period of time. And then I looked and I said, oh, so that's interesting. But then I started thinking about, okay, time equals life. And then I looked up the word lifetime. And that changed everything. Literally. The word lifetime, I said, oh, this is going to be good. So real quick, looking at lifetime, I'm going to let O jump in after this, because we're going to get into some nitty gritty stuff in a minute. The word lifetime is the duration of the existence of a living being. It could be a person or an animal. Their lifetime on this earth, they existed. Then you have an amount of accumulated or experienced in a lifetime, meaning, for example, a lifetime of regret. It's kind of on a negative connotation, but that's an example. Then you have a long duration or continuance of something, a lifetime of legislation, a lifetime of disappointment, or whatever you want to put kind of after that. Measured or achieved over a span or a career. A baseball player's lifetime statistics, or a lifetime batting average, or an NBA player's lifetime, free throw percentage, or anything dealing with anyone's career. The lifetime that you spent being a real estate agent, or whatever. Throw whatever you like in there. And so I looked at that and I said, wow, lifetime. And I said, okay, it kind of makes it come all together. But so if we're saying that time equals life, do we say that time is equivalent to our life on this earth? Or is it something that we use to maximize our lifetime on this earth? I'm going to let O jump in before I get going. I'm sure y'all tired of hearing me speak. Go ahead, O.
No, man, we're not tired of hearing you speak. I'm just like, this topic is amazing. I'm very particular about time, because I think you can waste it not even knowing it, thinking you're doing stuff, but not doing nothing at all. It's like running on a treadmill. You're running, but you're not going anywhere. So time is very important, and we got to protect it at all costs. It's a great subject that my man about to get in tonight. Here's another thing. It's precious, and we don't get more of it.
Mm.
And I know people say we got the same, what do they say, in the same 24 hours?
Right.
And you don't even really have 24. Because you're sleeping for 8. I mean, at least 8 of them.
At least.
And if you're, or 5 or 4, if you want to, if you don't want that much sleep, but we're asleep for a majority of those hours. So
and let's be honest too. I mean, the quote unquote 8 hours they say you should or supposed to get. I mean, that's great. But let's be honest. As you move on in life, 8 hours of sleep just goes away.
Yeah.
You don't. Once you hit between 30 and up, depending on what you're doing, you're not getting 8 hours of sleep anymore.
No.
Unless you're just lazy and just don't do nothing.
Right.
You're probably getting 8 or more hours of sleep, which is
Right.
actually not good for you, because it makes you more lazy because you're getting too much sleep. And so I would go to say, this is my opinion. I haven't done research. I'm not any sort of, scientific, research guy, but I'm like, look, a good 6 hours is good enough. 6.5, if you want to say it. But I mean, let's be honest, with what we're dealing with in our world now, as far as technology and the fast pace of the world, getting 8 hours of sleep, Like going past 6 hours, you miss something. You know what I mean? That's 2 hours. You kind of like, oh man, I missed this or something happened. Like, how many of us wake up in the morning? I don't do this. I used to, but how many of you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is you grab your phone to see what's going on? You're like, oh, I missed so and so. Oh, this happened. This happened. I mean, that's really, you miss something sleeping too much. And let's be honest, successful people, they don't sleep as much as those of us who are quote unquote saying they're successful. Because success looks different to everybody. Just as we all have the same 24 hours in a day, but again, it depends on how you use them.
Exactly.
I like the thing that I heard Dwayne The Rock Johnson say. He said, you know, it's not that you're tired. It's like you're uninspired. You're not tired. You're uninspired. So, and whatever your life is, whatever it is you want to do in life, whether it's you want to climb the ladder of the corporate world, or you want to be an entrepreneur, or you want to have both, or whatever it is in life you want to do, let's be honest, you have to learn to prioritize your time that you have. If you're working a 9 to 5 and you're trying to start your own business or whatever, you know, 9 to 5 you're working. This is, of course, 9 to 5 nowadays, or just, it could be whatever. It could be a 6 to 3. It could be an 8 to 4. It could be a 9 to 7 or a 10 to 7 or whatever it is. Like, what are you doing with the hours that you're not working? And that may seem a little far-fetched because you're like, man, well, I'm tired. But if inspiration outweighs tiredness, you might get 4 hours of sleep or less. But you feel accomplished because you got X, Y, and Z done that moves you more towards where you want to go and where you want to be. Which means when we're talking about time and life, when you maximize your time, your lifespan actually becomes longer because you're able to get more done rather than saying, oh, well, I don't have the time to do this. When you really do, but it's about prioritizing. I'm going to jump to this real quick. I tell people all the time that my life is my business and my business is my life. And what that means is everything that I do in my life is all wrapped into my business, or my business is. That includes my family. Now, I distinguish the difference between my family and business because when I'm doing business, I'm focused on business. When I'm doing family, I'm focused on family. But everything I do in business is for my family, and everything that I do with my family reflects my business. How I treat my family is how I'm going to treat business. How I treat business is how I'm going to treat my family. Now, you say there is a distinction there, but what you have to understand is I need to recognize what time it is. What time is it I'm doing business? What time is it I'm doing family? And we'll come back to that as well. One last thing I'll say before we kind of jump to a quick commercial break. And if you want to jump in here, let me know. Something that I heard someone say, successful people do not want to hear how busy you are. They only care about results. I'll say it again. Successful people do not want to hear about how busy you are. They only care about results. So you can say, you know, oh, I'm busy doing this, I'm busy doing that. Oh man, I'm out here hustling. But where are the results at? Now listen, before you jump all out your skin and say, wait a minute, I'm building. Yes, build. There's a time for that. But there's got to come a time where we got to start seeing some results from your building, rather than you just saying, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm busy and I'm hustling. But, you know, 5 years goes by and you're kind of still in the same spot you were 5 years ago. Like, are you really working towards it? Or are you just busy just to be busy because it sounds good and looks good? Go ahead, Al. Go ahead.
Hey, man, now you got me going all over the place, but we're going to go to commercial. But I'll just say this. You mentioned about being inspired. And I noticed that, like, when I'm inspired, or if you're inspired, the time, you will maximize the time when you're inspired. Because your brain is going and you're thinking a better way. Like, you're involved, you're in the moment, you're present, you're doing everything possible to maximize this time because you're inspired. But when you really aren't inspired, you're sitting there, you may look at TV, you may get sleepy, you may get something to like. You're doing a lot of procrastinating when you're not inspired. So like inspiration is key to maximizing that time.
Most definitely. And with that, we'll go to commercial break and come right back with more from the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast on time equals life. Be right back.
You're looking for an apparel company that's positive, uplifting, and truly cares about you? Then look no further. Frame of Mind Inc., an apparel brand company, impresses on individuals to think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. Get positive apparel such as t-shirts, hoodies, and wristbands for children, teens, and adults in various colors and sizes. Customized services include logo and t-shirt design, screen printing, and embroidery for individuals, families, schools, profit, and nonprofit organizations. You can reach Frame of Mind Inc. at 302-689-3499 or visit their website at www.frameofmindinc.com. Frame of Mind Inc. Think it, speak it, achieve it.
It's a frame of mind.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Before we left, we were talking about time equals life and the things that we can do to maximize our lifetime on this earth, maximize our time. And we talked about some things that people do and that they don't do, and about not being inspired and kind of doing things that procrastinate as well, in a nutshell. So right now we're going to talk about you guys about how you can actually be more effective with your time and stop just being just busy, or for that matter, just stop saying you don't have enough time to do what needs to get done. These are just 5 things we're going to give you guys, and then we're going to kind of let it go from there. So number 1, identify the season that you're currently in. Identify the season that you're currently in, because we all know that seasons come and go. Seasons come and go, and if you're looking at that from a yearly calendar standpoint, you got your summer, your fall, winter, and spring. They come and go. They come and go. One thing about time is infinite. It keeps moving, and you can't get time back, but you can reorganize things to maximize the time you have left. So if the season you once were in is not the one you're in now, and you're trying to bring things along from a different season, you're going to start bumping heads with things. I had to realize that myself. There was a season that I was in that I had to realize, I'm not really in that season anymore. Like, I need to move on to something else that has now sparked my interest, or that season of doing this is now up, or that season needs to get put in the back burner, and maybe that can come along and tag along with this new thing once I get it done. Because what happens is we get married to things, and then when we get married to them, they actually, to a degree, start holding us back. I'm not talking about you getting married to your spouse. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is the projects that we create and that we're doing and the things we're working on. We get married to them, and we start trying to make it work and make it work and make it work. And that season for that thing might be over, or that season might not be time for that particular thing. It may be time. It may come time later. It may tag on something else. So understand what time you're in. It's not a race to the finish when it comes to time. Like, everything works in its own time and season, but you got to keep understanding what time and season that you're in. And yes, there'll be times in life where you're going to have to hustle and get things done. You're going to be tired. Yes, you are. But I think that you're being inspired should outweigh your tiredness. And like O said earlier, when you're inspired, you start thinking about things come to your head, and the wheels start turning. And honestly, I have spent many nights up well past 12 midnight because the wheels just kept turning and stuff just kept coming to me. I'm like, I can't go to bed until I've actually maximized every idea that has come to my head that I can get out.
Exactly.
And I may not have a complete idea, but whatever comes to my head, like, I'm putting it down. I'm like, I'll come back to this later, but I don't want to not write this down and be like, what was the idea I thought about last night? Like, that gets me so upset. So I've learned to write down everything, even if it doesn't make sense, write it down. Come back to it later and make sense of it. Do not try to think, oh, I'll remember that tomorrow because it was a really good idea. No, you won't. It will leave and you'll be kicking yourself in the head trying to figure out what was that great idea I had. Write it down. You got anything on this one?
Now you keep going.
All right. Number 2, take inventory of how you spend your time. Are you maximizing? Are you maximizing your meetings that you're having with people? Do you have a set communication schedule to reduce wasted time? So I want to pause right here for a moment. So I have blocked off schedules of time that I meet with people. And what happens is I have a 15-minute schedule and a half an hour schedule. And so what happens is, based on what they were to talk about, meet about, or whatever, I'm like, okay, here's my calendar. Pick a block of time that's available for you, and we'll meet then. When that time starts coming to an end, the meeting ends. We don't go over. We can go under time if we get it done, but we don't go over because I got other meetings to get to. And if not other meetings, I have other things on my day to get to. So I have to maximize my time. I can't spend overtime with someone or on something because I haven't scheduled out my day to maximize my time. Schedule out your day. So that way you're not wasting time. And listen, I'm not saying you're wasting time with that person or that thing, but there's the progress you make in that time needs to be the progress you make for that thing in that day, and then come back to it the next day or a following day. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, O.
Yeah, no. So like even with meetings, or say you got scheduled calls you got to make, or you talk to a person for 20 minutes, keep to that 20, because what can happen a lot of times is you get to the business and then you spend another half hour just talking about, did you see what Joel Embiid did?
Right.
Which you could be on the next call or the next thing or the next whatever.
Yeah.
That you wasted. Not just, again, we're not robots. We need that time. We need that communication. We need, some relationships are not always business.
Mm.
But when it is business, you want to keep it to business, unless you allot another 20 minutes for busting it up.
Right.
So,
and the tag on to that is that but people need to respect your time.
For sure.
And you
for sure
need to respect other people's time as well. Because the one thing is that you don't want to get to a point where people aren't respecting your time because you always go over, you don't stick to it. When you start developing a reputation of doing X, Y, Z, people will say, all right, I got 15 minutes. What can I get in this 15 minutes that I need? Because I know when 15 minutes is up, somebody's going to be like, all right, we got 1 minute left. Anything else you got before we go? Because I'm going to end that meeting because I got to move on to the next thing throughout my day. If you keep lagging it on, it's like they think, oh, we can talk for another 15, 20 minutes. No, we can't, because I'm going to cut it off. Respect people's time, and people should also respect your time as well. Number 3.
Command your own time, but keep going.
Yes, command your own time. Exactly. Command it. Number 3, you should have a list that you work from on a daily basis. And we talked about this before on a podcast, and we probably said in another podcast about having a power list. And a power list is simply having 3 to 5 critical tasks that you do throughout the day. And we say 3 to 5 because when you start, it's not like a list of things to do. It's your most critical things to do. Because you can have a list, but that list should be the things that you do either throughout the day or towards when you're done with your top 5 that you have to do that day. And your top 5, they could be 3 business things and 2 personals, or it could be all business, or it could be all personal. However you want to do it. But list them in order of importance, so that way you're like, okay, that's done. All right, that's done. Okay, that's done. I don't understand when people list the most important thing last and save it for last, but then you run out of time to do it. That makes no sense to me. Most important thing should be first, so you can get that done and over with. Your list should get easier as you go down it, not harder. That's called not working smarter. It's called working right. People say, "Oh, you work harder, not work smarter, not harder." No, you need to work right.
Right.
Work right. Your list should get easier as you go throughout the day. All right, and then once you finish those top 3 to 5 things, be done with the day.
That's good.
At least with those hard things. Now, if you have other things you have to do that are small tasks, I mean, yeah, go ahead and get those done. But make sure when those top 3 or 5 things are done, you're done with your most critical task for the day. You're not adding more. Okay, I'm done with this. What else can I add? No, do not add to your critical 3 or 5 lists. Let that be done for the day and start another one tomorrow. That's simple. Don't add on to it. All right. Number 4, focus on the results. Focus on the results, not the task. What that means is, yes, you have tasks to complete, but don't focus so much on the task. You don't focus on the end result, because in that task, you should have a set time. You're like, okay, this is my most important task. I'm going to spend 2 hours on this task today. When that 2 hours is up, all right, I'm moving on to the next thing. And you may have time at the end of the day to go back to that task and get it done. And if not, you may have to go to it the next day. But don't go beyond that 2-hour time slot just because it's the most important thing. Like, go through the next thing, because like I said, your list should get easier as you go down it. So as it gets easier, it should make it possibly, to go back to that number one thing to get it done. And if not, like, it's okay. But some progress is better than none at all. I've always said something is better than nothing. So at least get something done rather than trying to finish it all in one day and then the last 4 things on your list don't get done because you spent all day on the most important thing. Now, there are times when the most important thing needs to get done that day. But again, there still should be a time slot for it to get it done so you can knock out the rest of your list for that day. Anything you got before we go on the next one?
Yeah, man. I just learned this it's a thing called action fakers against action takers, right? And they were breaking it down. I'm like, man, so the action fakers waste a lot of time doing things like, so the example given was putting on your shoes is an action fake, but actual walking in the walking shoe, like taking them shoes to go walk or run, is the action taken. You get what I'm saying? So you can go shopping for the new Jordans, get the best shorts and a headband and get the best basketball they have, but you never go out and play the game. You know what I'm saying? You never go.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So like action faking can waste a lot of time. And like you said, you got to be more, what do you say, task oriented, or not task oriented, but result oriented.
Result oriented.
So the result is we want to take the walk, not buy the shoes. We want to buy the shoes for the walk. Exactly. That's the result, the walk, not buying the shoes. You know what I'm saying? So
hope y'all wrote that one down. It's like oftentimes we have conversations and we're like, we in the locker room, rah, and saying what we're gonna do, but we never come out the locker room and play the game.
Never go play the game, man.
Never go play the game. Just rah in the locker room.
We drawing up plays and that we got plays. We got it all mapped out. We just never go play.
We got Philly special, but we never run it. Never run Philly special. And listen, just a side note. How many NFL teams have taken Philly special and ran with it?
That's a good point, brother.
Because they saw it worked.
They got results.
They got results. As one of my mentors says, that's called a clue. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm moving on. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone. Last one, number 5. Commit to being present. Commit to being present. You're working on a project. For that 2 hours, go all in on that project. Just go all in for that 2 hours. Focus on that and go all in. If you're, at work and you're doing your thing, if your responsibilities at your job is to do X, Y, Z, go all in and do that. When you're with your family, Go all in with your family. Don't be distracted by what you got to do business-wise. Don't be distracted with the fact you got to go to work and do this the next day. When it comes to your family, be present. When it comes to your business, if you're an entrepreneur, owner, CEO, whatever, be present. When it comes to doing your corporate job, whatever you do, be present. Do what needs to be done in the time it needs to be done. Because, as you said, you can't get time back. Can't. But you can maximize the time you have left for longevity in your life. Now, I talked about earlier that we have an acronym for life, LIFE. And if you saw the flyer for the podcast for the day, you would see that it says time equals life, L period, I period, F period, E period. And so what does that mean? What does that stand for? So my acronym for life is living it fulfilled every day. Living it fulfilled every day. So time equals life. Time equals living it fulfilled every day. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm going to end with that. Is that good or good?
It was great and good and good.
Great and good. Great and good. Awesome. Well, guys, of course, if you want to listen to the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast and get caught up on what we have, you can always listen to the audio versions on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. Also, we have the replays of the video portions on my Facebook page, as well as on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn page, and my, not mine, but our company's YouTube channel, Frame of Mind Inc. channel on YouTube. And again, if you want to contact us, you can always contact us at F of M Podcast at frameofmindinc.com, or you give us a call at 302-689-3499. Love to hear from you guys. And if you guys have ideas about topics we can talk about or subjects, let us know. We may not accept all that we can do, but hey, we're open to talking about things you guys want to talk about or hear about, and kind of go from there. Oh, do you got anything before we go?
No, man, just maximize your time, be effective with your time, command your time, and honor other people's time.
Hey, those 4 things right there. Say it one more time, Mo. Say it one more time.
Command your time and honor other people's time.
There you
And
go.
I had one more and I forgot it that quick.
That's all right. Maybe it'll come back to you before we go.
Yeah, command your time, honor other people's time, and just, I guess, respect. Just respect your time. Like, respect it.
Exactly.
Respect the time,
Exactly.
and be effective with it. You know what I'm saying? So
There you go. There you go. So as always, in the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast, continue to think it, speak it, and achieve it. And until next time, everybody, hey, I holla.
Thank you for joining the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. And as always, here at Frame of Mind Inc., think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. As our tagline says, think it, speak it, achieve it. See you next time.
It's a frame of mind. It's what you say and what you do.
Don't forget to check us out on the web at www.frameofmindinc.com, where you can browse our online apparel store, listen to some of our original music and production services, as well as view our videos and projects we've done for our clients and customers.